All right, guys, we are here with another exciting episode of these. Well, we've had client testimonies. This is brand awareness here. We're going to talk with Marcus Cook at Unapologetically Memphis. And this brand is so exciting and it's local here to us. So I wanted to provide a platform for everybody to kind of see how this thing came about and how great it has become up to this point, and let you guys see the tie between this and Cyber Investment. So it's incredible to have a Marcus here, and we've just watched this brand explode, and it's exciting to have you here. But before you go ahead, Marcus, Sydney Brown, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself really quick? Quick introduction.
Hi, I'm Sydney.
They're
Very
going
quick.
faster than that, Sydney. All right, Sydney is working with us here at Cyber Investments. She's helping put some of this amazing stuff together so we can bring you guys some more exciting features. And this is one here. Marcus, I want to go ahead and introduce yourself on Unapologetically Memphis. We're going to talk about all the exciting things that we've been seeing you participate in over the last year and several years. Go right ahead, Marcus.
Okay, I'm Marcus. I do Unapologetically Memphis. A lot of y'all probably know me, so you might not know the face, but you know the brand.
That's
so,
right. That's right.
Just a brand we started up for something that was more positive for the city of Memphis. So I wanted to do something that was positive because they always show the negative light of Memphis. So it was just something started in like 2019 that kind of put some good points in there. I get you to laugh. You know what I'm saying? I tell you some stuff you need to know. A little bit of everything. It's some everything.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's go back to 2019. Right here in this office, you came over and you had this idea, and we kind of talked through it. And how many followers did you have at that point?
Man, when I brought it to you, I had got it up to 8,000. I thought I was a big dog. I said, man, I got about 8,000 followers.
We talked about that. Right. And you look at it today. How many is it today?
225,000.
Look at God. So,
yeah,
everybody out there, listen. He came to the office. We chatted about it, and I've been knowing Marcus a long time. And we thought 8,000 was good, but now we're at 200,000, and I just think that's incredible. But it shows talent, and it shows that you already had, the skill set to be able to execute a company like that. So, we talked about some numbers and talked about different things, and you went out and executed, man, and it's just been it's been incredible. I think you gave me another number today with the number of views you've had on your videos. Go ahead and talk about that one, Marcus.
Yeah, so we had like about 10,172,648 or something like that. But man, it's like national brand numbers. So I was comparing the numbers. I was like, man, you know what? It's big brands that got these kind of numbers. And we
need 10 million.
10 million.
10 million.
Yeah, 10 million.
Yeah, you said 10,000, but I was gonna get you 10 million.
10
million.
I'm like, it's national brands that got followers like that, and we in a local setting. So I try businesses to just use that because I was like, man, if you got that many people looking at you, if you got a business, it's smart for you to try to get some of that viewership on your brand.
That's right. That's right. And you and I had a discussion even today, and you talked about the fact that of your 10 million, let's say 10 million views, and the people that are following your brand come from all walks of life. So for somebody who wants to advertise and advertise with you, hey, they can get a snapshot of America, so to speak, because I'm sure you got people from all walks. Everybody likes to laugh. Everybody wants to know, what's happening in the community. And I feel like coming through your site and your brand, you're going to give it unfiltered. You're going to give us the real, right? There's no editing coming through from the newspapers. There's none of all that stuff. It's like, hey, man, I'm going to tell you exactly what we see out here. And I think that's incredible. Is that correct?
Yeah, I try to keep it like from a person to person perspective. It ain't a news perspective, or it ain't a politician's perspective. It's from the people. Like it's for the people.
That's right.
Like I said, try to, it's gonna be 100, and I try to clean up my captions and stuff, so I kind of go through them. And my wife, she get about, hey, I said, certain ways I say things that's for people from Memphis to understand it.
That's right. I feel weird because I understand everything you say. So and we do talk a little different sometimes. So that's true.
And like I say, it's a broad scope of people. So it's black people. I had white people be like, "Hey, I made a comment on your page," and the black people jumped on. I'm like, and they said it was a black page. I said it's not a black page. It's a page about Memphis, but I said depending on what you're saying to the people, they're gonna attack you. You know what I'm saying? It's
right. It depends on who's saying it, right?
Yeah, I'm like, it depends on
who's saying it. So
may have worded it in a way that they didn't like, so they're gonna attack you. So I was like, it's not I said it's a page for Memphis for everybody. It's man, if you're Latino, black, white, it's a Memphis experience, and it's pretty much how I see how Memphis as I grew up. When I grew up in Memphis, that's how I seen Memphis. So I kind of put it in that kind of perspective.
Right, I love that because I mean, depending on what neighborhood you're from. I can tell you, we think different, right? We, like I'm from Bethel Grove.
Yeah.
All my friends from Bethel Grove, we think a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And people in different parts of town think a certain way. Like I can go to Sydney. Sydney will ask me about a different word. I'm like, I never heard of that word. Nobody in my neighborhood heard of the word. It depends on what we're talking about, right, Sydney? We've had those discussions, and it's like, no, I never heard of that. But certain things I know and people don't understand. So for you to be able to capitalize off of understanding that, yes, one community, but within that community, people think different or have different viewpoints. Hey, that's a win because that's very true out here. So for you to be able to do that and keep it authentic, that's been great. And I think that's why the brand has grown. And people love authenticity. People love being real in who you are. Just like I'm gonna go back into the business that I'm in, Cyber Investments. Marcus, when I was doing these seminars when I first started, and we are going over to the Jason's Deli here, everybody who grew up with me, who knew me who went to elementary school with me, middle school, or college with me, when I started speaking about budgeting, investing, I look around, they'll raise their hand and say, "That's the Raymond I know. He's been like that his whole life." So people love that. That's why kind of how our brain has grown as well. We're in the niche that I feel like I belong in my niche, you're in your niche, and it's authentic. And I think for anybody out there listening, whatever business that you're in, authenticity matters. People can feel if you're being real, right? It's like if I'm doing, you could be doing stocks one day and people ask me about crypto. I don't know anything about crypto, but we do stocks inside and out. But be who you are, right? And I think that gives you ahead of the game because I think God puts these talents in people and you're equipped through your life experiences to deliver certain products as a professional based on, where you come from, what you've learned that whole period of time. And you're just going to come across more authentic. And I think that's kind of where we are at Summer Investments as well. So go ahead. I've been talking. You have a question?
No,
no, I didn't have a question. I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but just, a little bit more about, if you could talk about a little bit more about, like, I know why you started or, what your goals are or just how the process has been, like, just beginning to now, like, how has it been for you?
Oh, it's been a pretty cool experience. Like I said, I started because on the news, the news is usually negative. So we didn't have anything reporting restaurants that's coming up or events that's really, they report events, but it's more about the crime on the news. So I was like, man, we got to get away from the crime issue and kind of show the good things that people do in the city. So that was my focus. And that's how I started. Like, I think this is what I tell people. I started because I told Courtney one day, I was like, man, when we go out of town, we look up all the places to do things. I said, but people in Memphis be like, man, ain't nothing to do in Memphis. I'm like, bro, I try around Memphis every day. It's too much doing Memphis. People just get into just like your dad was saying about the neighborhoods. If you from North Memphis, you just do stuff in North Memphis mostly. If you're from South Memphis, you really don't move outside of South Memphis. So it was just putting something together and say, hey, they doing this over here, they doing this over here. And like I grew up, everybody like, hey, where you from? I was like, I'm almost from everywhere. I said I grew up with my grandparents in Olive Branch for school. I said my mom lived in Whitehaven. My dad lived in like the Cableville area. So I was like, it was like a triangle. I was going to all of them. So I was like, when I got with my dad, he drive me around the city and kind of show me like, hey, this how you do this how you do this how you move here. So he kind of showed me how to move around Memphis. so I wouldn't be like, hey, you get over this neighborhood, you get scared. Like, nah, I'm on point. He already told me what to do. So I already know how to interact with y'all. So you can't do nothing to me. And probably I got some folks over here anyway.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. But you touched on something very important. And believe it or not, Marcus, I just read a second ago a post somebody had there's I can't remember. I mean, moments before we started this, somebody said, hey, it was a positive story and it only had like one comment on it. He said he made the second comment. Nobody likes positivity. Uh, well, people like it. It's not delivered enough for us.
Properly.
Yeah.
Right. We don't even
Right.
recognize it because we're so used to the bad news and the news media outlets that have you so scared. You don't want to drive downtown. You don't want to park your car because if one idiot break a car window out, guess what? A million people is going to hear about it, right?
Right.
But if you got one good Samaritan down there doing this, that, or other, nobody's going to hear about it. So all that negativity, and if people are, relying on the news to give them all of their information, they're going to just have all this negative viewpoint of Memphis, and it's going to continue on and on and on. I can imagine it happens in a lot of urban areas, right? And sometimes you never know what's the motive behind some of this stuff. But an outlet like what you have, Marcus, has just been a game changer. It's been great for other people. Think about 10 million views on a video. On some of your videos. That's incredible. So I think that's a real good thing. So it's been exciting watching you grow that brand, and that brand is probably going to get bigger and bigger because it's like a snowball effect. As more people see what you're doing, and you're at a lot of the events these major events. You're there. People are reaching out to you because they know you have a reach to show some more positivity in the city. So that's a good thing. We can turn this thing around locally, right?
Oh yeah.
Just like in cyber investments, we've trained over 7,000 people on how to invest in the markets. They look like me and you for the most part. We got some diversity, but most of these people are investing on the markets, doing options trading. They're making tons of money on the market, but nobody would ever look our way to say, hey, you're doing something really great for the community. You're helping these people, invest money and put away for the future. We don't get any publicity on that. And that's okay. We're going to keep working and doing what we're doing as well. But it just goes back to the point that you're saying that, negative news sales. And that's what they're all about. And people don't really understand that. But it's good that you're able to, put your brand out there and really grow it. Marcus, you grew this thing from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
Pure talent. You didn't have a whole lot of investors coming in there pouring money at you, right?
Nope.
Doing all this stuff. This was a great idea, talented, and you're doing it, with your own two hands. So that's just amazing, and it's just going to only get bigger. Now, I think Marcus in 2025. I was telling Sydney earlier, at Summer Investments, we try to reach the community. We try to, get people to understand that they have to, invest a little bit more. I ain't telling people not to have fun. I made a post today. I said, hey, just take 10% of the money you wasted and invest it. We're going to do some more synergy going forward, right? Our brand, I want our brand to be not interchangeable, but I want my brand to be on your platform more.
Yeah.
So you're going to see me advertising there. And the fact that you got a very diverse crowd of people, hey, the people who are interested in investing, they're going to see our brand and see what we have available for them as well. And I think that's good. And being, a person, we know each other and, authenticity matters. So they see you supporting our brand, we support your brand. They see, we can definitely, grow even further than where we are today. So I think that's going to be a good thing as well. That's going to be good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes.
Like I said, man.
Go ahead.
Just trying to, like I said, steady growth. Like I said, you seen it from the beginning. Like like when I brought it to you, like 2019, that year that went to I was telling you about the 8,000. Man, it started off at, I know I was just playing, but it was like 500. But then to take it from that to like you said, it's been from the ground. It's a ground up experience.
Yeah, yeah. And man, there's nobody gonna treat it better than you because, like I said, when you build a business from the ground up, I mean, I just think the sky's the limit because you know what your product it speaks for itself. I mean, I look forward to going on your page to see what's happening. You know, on occasion I can see some things happen. Say, Mark, did you see this or see that? You're like, oh yeah, I seen that, I seen that. So it's good. That's where I get my news from. I don't watch a lot of news on TV. I pretty much get my news from you, man. I'll look at some of the stuff you got going there to see what's happening. So I think that's a real good thing to have available for people. So I'm excited about where this thing is going in the future. I think it's going to get even better. Now I got to ask one question, Marcus, and I don't know if I told Sydney I was going to ask you this question or not. So of all the neighborhoods in Memphis, who's got the strongest your strongest supporters or the strongest brand? Is it South Memphis, North Memphis, Orange Mound, Belton Grove? Who is it? I know this is a trick question.
It gonna almost be a tie between Whitehaven and Orange Mound, man.
Whitehaven. Oh, I didn't know Whitehaven was that strong. I really did.
Whitehaven, be serious about the neighborhood, and that's why I had to say for sure. So
it ain't because you got ties in Whitehaven. Are you serious? I had no idea Whitehaven was that.
No, it ain't because I got ties in Whitehaven, man. Whitehaven, they be thinking Orange Mound. They be kind of, you know what I'm saying. They represent Orange Mound, even though it's as rough as it seems sometimes.
Right.
But
I'll tell you how,
yeah, they love
how it was. So I grew up in Bethel Grove, and if you know, so Orange Mound is kind of a section.
Right.
And Bethel Grove is it's a little line in there.
Yeah.
Boy, if you get them real technical, they'll say, you're really not from Orange Mound, you're from Bethel Grove. And then they'll start cutting lines and saying, no, you really ain't in Bethel Grove, you're in Mini Wagon. You know, I grew up on a street called Kimball. They said, oh no, that's Mini Wagon. You ain't really from the Grove. So I've heard all this. So
yeah, it's about it like they said Whitehaven and Westwood. That ain't South Memphis. I'm like, you can't get no South.
Yeah, right. I had no idea the pride in these communities were as strong until you brought the brand out here. And I think you were doing T-shirts.
Yeah.
I know I got me a Bethel Grove T-shirt from you and all this kind of stuff. So it gets very. Are you still doing those T-shirts, Marcus?
You know what? People been asking for them T-shirts again. I was like, man, I did that like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like people be like, hey man, I rep my neighborhood, so I'm eventually bring them back. Just cause people, like I said, they were really kick the brand off. People loving their neighborhood when they start seeing them neighborhood posts I made about things in their neighborhood.
Right,
man, brand crazy.
I know it.
Yeah.
Because there are facts about. I remember you were giving us facts about Bethel Grove and all these different areas. Think about it, Marcus. They're not going to teach that in school. The politicians aren't teaching it.
Nah.
Where does that history go? You found a gap. You found a missing area, and you say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to fill that gap and give you guys that information." And it's so much information. People don't understand. I think Memphis was very strong. If you go back, Marcus, to the music scene back in, when BB King and all these people in Beale Street and the history behind Beale Street, it's so much rich history in this city, and these politicians and these educators, they're not covering any of this stuff to give us pride about the city, right? They can start there, giving us pride about our city, and then they can start adding all this other stuff on top of it. But there's so many things I think you were finding out, and that's how you grew your brand, by telling us these facts about these different areas. And I thought that was incredible.
So, yeah. On the investment piece.
Go ahead and say it again.
On the investment part, if you talk about investors, the first black millionaire came from Memphis, Robert R. Church. And he was investing in properties in the city. And you know what I'm saying? He owned most of Beale Street. So he was like the first black millionaire in the South.
Wow.
So people they don't know he don't really get the credit he deserved because he really saved Memphis, like when the yellow fever hit or whatever.
Right.
He had to buy him, he did a whole lot to keep the city going. Like I think he bought a bond or something. I don't technical term for it. But he bought something to keep the city from man, it wouldn't have been no Memphis if dude didn't invest in the city like he did. But they don't tell you all that.
Wow,
that is incredible. That is
and
absolutely.
think of how proud people would be if they knew things like that. Like how proud people would be of the city, you know?
Yeah,
If
so
they just knew like just tidbits like that, or that's like huge news. Like we had no idea about that per se.
Just think about walking on Bill Street, knowing Robert Church, a guy that looked like me, owned most of the property on there. You know what that would make people say, you know what, I want to buy a building on Bill Street. I want to buy a club on Bill Street.
Exactly.
But it's not there because that information is not, available for people.
He's not smoking about, but he still got the Robert R. Church Park, and he got like a building right there off of Bill, but they don't really, people don't really know much about it. But like I said, he like man, dude was like the big dog in Memphis.
Wow.
When black people didn't have, he was one of the few black people that owned so much and helped to do so many things in the city that's not really told.
Right. What about right there in Orange Mound? Wasn't that the very first black owned?
First black owned neighborhood built for black people.
Country.
Yeah, in America. Yeah.
In America, guys, right there in Orange Mound. People don't talk about that either. That's some information that I'm glad you're filling that gap and giving people insight into that. That goes right in line to what Sidemore Investments is about, right? We're all about owners, business, thriving in a business, owning real estate, stocks, all the stuff that we talk about. That's wealth creation. We talk about that stuff. And that's where the synergy is, right? That's where we're going to find a synergy because our mission is to equip people with information on how to build wealth, right? And what you're doing is you're giving people insight as to say, hey guys, this is not something new. Robert Church and the first black neighbor, that's just raising the bar of awareness of where we can be as a people, right?
Yeah.
Where we can be as a people. So I think that's why your brand is so important. And I think that's why, I'm happy that you're doing what you're doing and it's taken off from that conversation and that session we had in 2019. From then to now, you can say, look at God and look at the work that you put in it and look where you are today. I think it's going to go even further because I think your idea can be replicated. You can do that all over the country in other areas and probably be just as successful because the need is there for people to understand their neighborhoods, understand their culture, and understand where they're able to go in the future. So, Marcus, I think that's great. I think that's some good information, just right there, Sydney. I know you learned something, right, Sydney?
I did, yep.
You have any more questions for Marcus?
I was gonna ask, like, what are your future goals, if you have any? Like, where do you see your brand in like a year or like 5 years?
Okay. I started on the first thing we got coming up in 2025. We're supposed to be doing a little mini partnership with iHeartRadio to do a little segment on the radio. I think we thinking about Unapologetically Memphis Minute. You know what I'm saying? So where we throw back something that's happening in the city.
Oh, nice.
On the Mike Evans morning show. So
okay.
We're gonna work on that first. But we got like I was telling them, I want to do something with radio that's focused on Memphis. The brand is Memphis, so
right.
Memphis. I'm trying to do radio. If I can get some little TV stuff, we're gonna kind of piggyback off of everything until it build up to what it can be, because the brand is big. And like I said, when I talk to people, they be like, "Man, you this big," or people from DC. I met people from DC, Chicago, LA, everywhere in the United States is somebody watching or somebody telling me they friend from somewhere. Hey man, they sent me this. Like, man, I live in Memphis. What you sending to me for already? So, right. So like I said, the brand is growing pretty good, and we're gonna just try to keep it growing and adding on to it, like making it better. That's what I always do. I try to make it more professional and more business like. So like,
right,
it's just right.
I remember we were talking about the YouTube channel. Remember that?
Yeah. So
you can add some.
Putting stuff on YouTube. Like I said, we're gonna do the podcast or whatever. So
The restaurant reviews, all that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna flip it all to YouTube, everything. We're gonna expand what we do with IG and I guess TikTok if they don't kill it.
Yeah, right.
So, Cindy, you've been in some of these planning sessions too, huh?
Yeah, I remember we were talking about we need to go here, we need to go there, just review the
Yeah.
food and
Oh man. So the sky's the limit because, I just can't think of anybody else doing it and doing it as good as, as well as you're doing it right now, Marcus. You got the ears of the people. People trust your brand. They're
Mhm.
used to seeing it. So I think, man, you gotta, it's a responsibility, but it's also a privilege, right? To be able to, take Memphis to the next level and help us, you know, you know, put a better spin on where we live as a whole. This city coming up, it hadn't always had the negative view that it has today. Everybody talk about crime and all this stuff, but there's a lot of opportunities here, right? There's a
Mm,
lot of opportunities here. When people ride down Bill Street and say ain't nothing to do, you turn around and say, well, you can open up a business and then we can start doing everything that your business requires,
exactly.
right? So no,
Mhm.
I'm saying everybody can say that, like, we're okay, we need some owners of some businesses and y'all start doing some stuff. And we can have an exciting city. But I think we're gonna get there because we're gonna educate the people. And I think you're doing your part in your niche, sitting and working with cyber investments. And like I said, we've trained so many people to invest on the markets. We're going to create wealth out there. You can't do nothing about money markets. I
Yeah.
tell people that it's important. They say, man, you always talk about that money stuff. Yeah, because money is important, right? People who make decisions got money. They can. So you got to have some money to make some. Everybody's got an opinion, but everybody ain't got money to put their
Yeah.
opinions into motion. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell people we got to have some money put up as well. So that's why what we do is important too. So, but I just think the brand has been incredible, man, and I've watched it grow over the years, and I think to be honest, I think the sky's the limit because I think you can really. Like Sydney talked about some other areas. I think you can tap into some other opportunities out there, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Now, Marcus, how do people advertise on your brand because you're reaching a lot of people. There are going to be a lot of business owners. I know in our shadow programs, we got so many investors in Memphis, got businesses, whether it's mortgage, real estate, they're doing all kinds of stuff in our programs. And they're going to probably want to know how can they advertise on your page? How can they do that?
Man, you can get in the DM. I got www.unapologeticallymemphis.com. You can send me a message through there. It's just several ways you can get in touch with me, like on the website, IG and Facebook. I got the number up there, so if you need to hit me up and just explain what you're trying to do, my number out there. People like, hey, where your number at? Like, man, I put my number on the page, so you can't say you can't reach me because I got it right there. You just didn't look.
Right. Right. Got to be able to see first. So
You know how we do. You had to let people see things. If they don't see it, they ain't gonna read it hard. So you have to be like, hey, it's there, but you just didn't read it.
yeah, yeah. I had someone tell me that too. People don't their attention span is not what it used to be. There's so many things going on out here, and one thing have your attention 1 second, something else the next. So you have to be intentional. Like when they want to go out there and if they trying to make a mark here, and get their brand on your page, they got to go out there and look you up and make it happen. So I think that's a good thing.
It's a new thing for everybody, like social media. So I was like, hey man, everybody, I don't trust. I was like, man, social media is the biggest thing. It's bigger than TV, really, because everybody
Mhm.
and everybody always on it. I was like, who not looking at their telephone every minute of the day? So it's bigger than TV, radio, or whatever. I'm like, people looking at IG, TikTok all day, more than they listen to the radio. So I was like, radio advertising is cool. I'm not knocking the radio because I'm gonna have to deal with the radio at some point. But,
Correct, correct.
but
So,
if you really
but
reach,
Mark, so right, that levels the playing field, right? So without me aging myself, that level the playing field because years ago, if you didn't go to one of these big boys, radio stations, sit in the lobby, or go to a newspaper for ad, okay, you ain't gonna get out nowhere, right? What they had a long time ago was flyers. People just put flyers on people's cars. If you ever get in the club, you walk outside, you got flyers all on your window. That's how people advertise. Right?
yeah,
You go to the barbershop, you have flyers, stack of flyers sitting at the barbershop if you're trying to throw a party, whatever. Now everything's totally different, right? You go out there, you can create your own space, your own,
mm,
inroads into whatever industry that you're in. and it's giving folks like yourself and other people who are running media type outfits the opportunities to go out there and and solicit for their businesses, and then you can put their brand in front of your viewers and things like that. So it's leveled the playing field tremendously, the social
Mm-hmm.
media stuff has. So, and you're able to capitalize off of it. And then Sydney, as they go into this thing over the next 5 to 10, 15 years, artificial intelligence is going to probably change the game again. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where things are going to look a little different again. Now we're looking at phones. It may be something else in the future because of AI. So, but all that said, I say it all that to say that it's helped people that look like us get out there and get in the race, so to
Yeah.
speak. So if you got the talent and you got the vision, you go out there and make some things happen. So I think that's great. I think that's great. So all right, so
Yep.
do you have anything else?
That was my last question. We got to keep questions,
Yeah. But Marcus, man, you're hitting on all cylinders, and it's great. And we've been watching you, grow for a long time. And man, you started that vision in 2019, right in this desk. I'm sitting in the same office. We had the discussion, and you laid the thing out, and we talked about it. And look at it now. We
Oh
wouldn't have
yeah.
known it had grown like this that fast, but it has. So, and I'm already calling it. It's gonna be we're gonna probably double or triple the numbers from where you are today within the next couple of years. I believe it because now you see the opportunity there, your name's there, and it's just gonna snowball again and just be something incredible. So, and I think you had a newspaper article as well, right?
Yeah, I went about a couple of weeks ago, pretty much telling what it was and why we started it. So, like I said, I've been on a couple of news stations, but like I know three. I was on five.
Right.
Commercial appeal, so everybody catching on. So they were like, "Hey, dude, getting bigger than life," and he just built it from the ground. So
I like that. Now I got to tell this one story, Marcus. So at the very beginning, and this is a story for people who starting businesses, right? At the very beginning, you may go out to these outfits, and before you create a name for yourself, those same publications and news outlets will be like, "Well, I'm not interested." But now you got to come back and say, "We're interested," right? Because you went out there on your own and made it happen.
yeah,
So that's how it works. Sometimes that's how God do, and that's how it works. And also, I'm saying all that to say this: don't let anybody stop your vision that's out here, right? Don't let people naysayers that ain't gonna work. And the first thing somebody's gonna tell you, especially they can be your friends, be in your family, the first thing they can say, that ain't gonna work. Don't let that stop you. If you got a vision, you got talent, you keep moving forward. All right. So that's why I want to kind of throw that out there because I know it's like that iceberg, right? They'll see the ice on the top, but they don't see all the work that went on under the water.
mm-hmm.
You had a lot of sessions and planning, and I'm sure you had some setbacks and all this kind of stuff to get to where you are today, right? Now you're here, and it's all gravy. So it's that's a story in itself, and I just think that people who are looking to build brands need to take note of that. It ain't gonna be easy at first, but that's okay. That's part of the process, I call it. And you need that. It builds integrity within you. It's to make you appreciate your success even more, right? When you know you had to work for it from the ground up. And when you get there, get to the plateau, you better look back on it and say, "Hey, it's been a hell of a journey." So I just think you've made all the right decisions, and I think this thing is going to go even further in the future, man. So, best of luck to you. And the synergy between cyber investments and Unapologetically to Memphis is going to be tighter moving forward because we want to get our brand out there in front of your viewers and listeners and let them know that, hey, we want to build wealth in the community, the same community I came from. I say this all the time. We're going to make some good investments, and if our portfolio, it grew 223% this year, it grew 500% last year. If I got 1,000 people in that program or 100,000, we could all be rich, right? We can all make a lot of money. So on Wall Street, there are no, barriers to entry. You can get out there, invest a little money, And so the sky's the limit for what we're doing too. So we're trying to reach some of those people and let them know that, hey, we got a place for you to put your money, that you can learn how to invest on your own, and we can give you a little guidance. So that's what we're here for. And I think what we're doing, our mission, and what you're doing, bringing enlightenment into the city and bringing pride to the city, I think it's a perfect combination. And I think we're going to do extremely well moving forward. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, be ready for people to tell you no, because like I said, like you said, people that don't see a vision. I had that with a couple of brands that's in the city that do their own blog. So I was like, when I first started, I was like, hey, would you put this on your blog? Nah, but now then later, as they seen me grow and pass them, they, hey, Frank, you do this for me. Like I remember when y'all didn't even want to really talk to me about nothing, but you got to keep on finding out and keep on going, no matter what everybody else saying. They don't see your vision, so you got to stick to what you see, and not listen to others. Like you say, even your family sometimes will say, "Hey, man, that's dumb. What you doing?" Like, well, God didn't tell you; He told me.
There you go. God will do it too. And I actually talked about that I posted a video yesterday. I said, God will make your enemies be your supporter.
Yeah.
The people who wish your downfall be the ones telling everybody about you. I literally talked about that yesterday on a video, and you're repeating that same thing, and that's really true. I mean, you have some people who will tell other, oh, that ain't no good, or don't do this, don't that. They be your main advocate, right? When you go through the process and you get to the point where you had a level of success, they'll go back and say, well, wait a minute, let me rethink that one, because that guy's on a mission and he's going somewhere. So well, people are interesting, but like you said, when you have a vision, Marcus, you gotta keep moving forward. Tunnel vision, you gotta live and breathe it every day and go for it. And I think you've done that, and the success is showing for itself. I mean, 10 million views on a video. Sydney, we need to get them
On
watching
the
our
whole
video.
page.
10 million views on our video. So
I know.
I'm about to get Marcus to tell me how to do that one.
Keep putting out work. Just work.
All right, we're gonna do it. We need to get our vision out, be 10 million times. All right. Well, Marcus, we're gonna let you go, brother. I'd sit here and talk to you for hours, but we don't want to keep you too long. And this has been great, and I appreciate your time. Okay, we can do it again. And when you start your podcast, I'm gonna be one of the first ones on for you.
Got you. For sure.
All right, then. Appreciate you, brother. Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, now y'all have a good one now.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you. All right.